Well, thank you for joining us on CMath. This lesson I'm looking at converting square meters into square centimeters. So let's say we have to convert, say 5 square meters into square centimeters. Now just for the benefit, when you speak this, you actually say square meters. You won't say meters squared. So even though that's the order you write it, just for your benefit. So this question is 5 square meters into, we want to convert that into square centimeters. Now there's a lot more square centimeters than a square meter. A square meter is quite large. A square meter is like 100 centimeters by 100 centimeters. That is a square meter. It's quite large. You could stand in it, you could dance in it, you could sit in it, and it's quite large. So when you are standing in a square meter, it's quite large. But a square centimeter is like on a piece of paper. You could hold it in your hand. It is just a small, it's just 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter. It's a tiny little square, and many of these will fit into here. In fact, just along the bottom row here, if you have all these square centimeters, you would get 100 of them would fit just in the bottom row. That's 100 square centimeters just in one centimeter row only. So if you've got 100 here, and you've got 100 here, and you've got 100 here, you've actually got 100 rows of 100, because each row is 1 centimeter wide. So we're going to get 100 rows with 100 in each, with 100 squares, with 100 individual square centimeters in each row. So there is in fact 10,000 square centimeters in 1 square meter, and that's very important to know. I'm just going to put that in a rectangle here. That's called a, this is like a conversion rate, a conversion factor. It's good to know that 10,000 square centimeters is 1 square meter. So if you had to change 5 square meters into square centimeters, then you don't just say 500. That's 500 centimeters is 5 meters. That's correct. But this is area. Area is different than length. Area is what's called two-dimensional. And two-dimensional, you will have square centimeters and square meters to represent your two dimensions. So this is two-dimensional. So whenever something is two-dimensional, we're dealing with area. So 5 square meters is an area. It's quite a large area, and that would fit 50,000 square centimeters. So to convert, all you simply need to know is if you multiply the value that is in square meters, if you take that number and times it by 10,000, you will get the same number. But we're not in fact multiplying the area times 10,000. We're actually multiplying by what's called a fraction. There are 10,000 square centimeters per square meter. So what we're actually doing is not multiplying by 10,000. We're multiplying by this conversion factor. And because they're equal, we can put one number on top and one number underneath. Because they're both equal, this is a unit. When you've got the same number divided by the same number, this in here is just a unit. And when you multiply any value by 1 unit, you don't change the size, but you do change the units, because those will cancel. So if we have 5 square meters, it will become 50,000 square centimeters. So this is the math I like. I'll show you the math I like. The explanation's completed, but number 2, I'm not going to just multiply by 10,000. If I'm going to be asked to convert, say, 3.5 square meters into square centimeters, I like writing down 3.5 square meters and multiplying by a fraction where the top number and the bottom number are the same, but you use the numbers from the conversion factor. Now, if you want the square meters to cancel, you must put the 1 square meter underneath, because that square meter won't cancel if it's written on top. Now, if 1 square meter is underneath, you must have 10,000 square centimeters on top. This is the number 1. This fraction is the number 1. And this is how I like converting. And so then I can cancel that square meter with that square meter and finish up with the answer as being 3.5 times 10,000 is 35,000 square centimeters, because the square centimeter has not been cancelled. It's part of our solution. And there we have our conversion of 3.5 square meters is 35,000 square centimeters. I hope this lesson has helped you. Until I talk again, stay happy.